What's up, house groups? This week was week 2 of our series, Your Red Flag is Showing, and we talked about a particularly insidious thought pattern that's pretty universal for human beings: discontentment. At least it's universal for me most days and weeks of my life, and it's dangerous. Benjamin Franklin once said, contentment makes a poor person rich, and discontentment makes a rich person poor. And I think he nailed it, because it steals our joy and our life and our purpose. But it's really hard not to find ourselves discontented in a world where it's really easy to compare ourselves to everyone else. And in fact, we talked about this on Sunday. Solomon says a lot of our motivation for achievement in the world, like the inspiration for the work we put into our jobs and our homes and our schoolwork and our hobbies and our looks and more, comes from envy, from measuring ourselves against the people around us and then feeling like we don't measure up. And that feeling is corrosive. It rots us from the inside out because we start to resent God's goodness in the lives of others while ignoring God's goodness in our own lives. And then we end up miserable because discontentment grows as we get caught up in comparison. And when we find ourselves comparing, we gotta remember, as Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 4, we're chasing the wind trying to chase everybody else. And we can't win at chasing the wind because somebody will always have more than us. Discontentment also happens when our experiences and our expectations don't match up, when life isn't going the way we want it to. And it's easy to react to that with gloom and doom and, oh, woe is me, but we gotta be careful. Proverbs 15:15 says, all the days of the gloomy are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. And I think it's interesting that he contrasts those two type of people, the gloomy and the cheerful. And I bet if I gave you 5 seconds tonight, all of you could come up with somebody who fits both of those categories. Like the gloomy person who just always seems to hate life no matter what. And then that annoying optimist who's just loving every minute of it no matter what, right? You know them. Some of you are them. Like, oh, it's going to rain. Oh, today's the worst day of my life. Again. Oh, the economy's in the tank. Oh, I'm never going to get that job. Oh, I have a test. Oh, wretched. But the cheerful heart has a continual feast. And I think that's a cool word picture. Because we know the cheerful people too. Some of you are the cheerful people. That person could have the exact same day as a gloomy person and just see the silver lining in everything and move through the world with joy and hope and this profound ability to see the goodness of God in every moment. And I think this is an incontrovertible truth. If you want to find the bad in this world or in your life, you can. It's not hard. There's bad all around us, but if you want to find the good, you can find that too. And sometimes it's not easy, but it's there if we look for it. And so in order to defeat discontentment, we have to grow our gratitude for the good things in our lives. And we also have to grow our hope in God's promises in the moments where life doesn't seem very good. And then, in addition to all that, we got to make sure we're chasing the things that really matter. Solomon warned in Ecclesiastes that 1 handful with tranquility is better than 2 handfuls with toil. We live in a world, you guys, that tells us happiness lies just on the other side of more. But that's not true. If the more we're chasing is more things that don't matter, more things that don't fill the need in our souls for God, right? Then we end up with more of nothing. And so it's important to ask ourselves, who or what am I really living for? Is it God or is it the world? Am I chasing holiness or happiness? Because it's real easy to get caught up chasing the world, but it's empty. And in the end, discontentment is easy to end up with. It's simple to be in that space. It's simple to end up empty because we chased the world and didn't get what we wanted. And ultimately, I think for all of us, like that's a tension we're always going to have to manage and not a problem we'll ever solve. Choosing to be content is not a one-time decision. But if we're aware that discontentment grows when we compare and when we're envious and when our expectations aren't met and when we chase the things of this world, if we're aware of that, then I believe we can take our thoughts captive. We can decide, hey, I'm gonna focus on the beauty of God's blessings and God's promises. And I'm gonna cultivate that kind of cheerful, contented heart that makes every day, as Proverbs says, a continual feast, because that's the way I wanna live.